lovelies. I'm sorry it took me a few days to follow up on the last 2 videos. I've been really busy with a lot of stuff, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. So, you know, as an adult, even though some of your choices that you have to make may be limited, maybe by your financial situation, or if you have any disabilities, which some of these cases can, with persistence, be changed. As an adult, we have the right to make certain choices, whether large or small, you know, including things like who we live with, who we're gonna be intimate with, who we're gonna marry or spend the rest of our lives with, or maybe we want to spend the rest of our lives alone, which is fine. Who your friends will be, where you'll live, what career you'll have, you know, how you'll dress and present yourself, things like this. They're all choices that you have the right to make, and sometimes you just need to be reminded that you still have the right to make them. I've already made the choice to live with my boyfriend, and I've made the choice to be intimate with him. I think all the other choices I've made have come in stride. It's been hard, but they kind of just, you know, I make them as they come. I think I'm finally getting to that point where I can just make choices on, you know, daily things that may have been hard for me before, because again, I think these small, you know, some of these choices that I listed, among many choices that you make in your everyday integral life, some people take them for granted because it's easy for them to be like, yes, I want to have sex with you, or no, I don't want to have sex with you, or yes, I will eat a cheeseburger today, or no, I won't. You know, a lot of people do struggle with these choices, so I think I'm finally getting to the point where I don't as much. But I think the biggest thing is, as long as you're making a conscious effort to work towards this bigger goal, to get to the point where you can make choices, whether they be big or small, I think it'll get done. And especially as a young adult or just coming into adulthood, and even people who are well into their adult years, it's really hard coming from a situation where you were constantly taught that you couldn't have what you wanted or what you needed, or you couldn't say no. It's really hard. In some cases, I think a lot of people struggle with someone, whether they be a family member or close friend or someone you're intimate with, may think they have a lot of control over your life, and you can set boundaries to make sure that you are in charge of your life, because you are in charge of your life. It's your life and you need to live it. It's not anyone else's job to tell you or control you. It's just not fair. You get one shot at this. You will only be this person that you are once. So you might as well make it count, right? In some ways, you know, in order to make these changes, you may have to completely separate yourselves from the person. And believe me, being someone who had to do that, it is very, very hard. Very, very hard. Or, you know, spend less time with the person or people, you know, whoever is kind of controlling over your life. Set clear boundaries as to what makes you uncomfortable and what is okay while you're together. Even doing these small things, again, people take them for granted. And again, we have to take these small steps in order to accomplish them. So the final choices and the final decisions and actions that are being made are up to you, because it has to do with you. For me, I need to firstly do what I feel is right. You know what I mean? I'm just one of those people. I can't go against what I feel is right. I'm very open-minded. Like, I can change my mind about something if I have an appropriate open-minded discussion about whatever this something is. But if I feel strongly about something, it's very hard for me to change my mind, especially if it has to do with something I feel is right. Even if, like, my family or whoever the culprit of the situation is don't agree with me on it or don't like it. I think that's one of the hardest things for me, is going against my family, because a lot of these emotional boundaries that I had to set were against them. And it's hard, but it's a change that I need to make for myself. And I think I've always kind of been good at it. I've always been like, you know, if my family were doing something that I felt wasn't okay, I was very, you know, open about it, even if they tried to shut me down or yelled at me or disagreed, made me feel like crap about it. I was still very open about it. I'm not gonna say I was the best at it, but I do need to polish my skills. I think the rest, I just need to start my life, and I think once my life is really starting, like once I start school and get a new job, because there is a move in the near future for me and my boyfriend, I think I'll be happier. I think I'll be able to comfortably be like, okay, it's my time to make my own choices and do what I feel is right. So I think in like creating the change, you need and setting these emotional boundaries, saying like I statements can really help, because when you say something like, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, for example, you're just stating how you feel. You're stating that what you want without accusing the other person or pointing out their flaws or making them feel like crap, because that's where the confrontation starts. A lot of people who have emotional boundary issues are afraid of, what the other person will think, or don't want to accuse the other person of something or make them feel like crap because they, as a person, know how it feels. So if you practice these I statements, because like I said, practice makes perfect. I will beat it like a dead horse, I know, but these I statements: I am ending this relationship. I will not hug you. I do not feel comfortable when you touch me. I will go out this weekend. Things like that. If you practice these statements and avoid that confrontation when accusing somebody, it's a good way to approach, because it's less likely to turn into a confrontation and just be a conversation. In some cases, not so much, but stating how you feel gives you more power. And when you practice, it gives you that foundation where you feel more powerful when you say it. And I feel usually the more I say things like that and the more I practice, the easier it is for me to accomplish them. So in order to take the action to, set your emotional boundaries, say no, put your foot down when something makes you feel uncomfortable, etc., you have to kind of identify what it is that you want, need, any goals you have, whether they be large or small. You have to identify them in order to take any action. And I know this sounds silly to some people and may seem like, duh, obvious, but sometimes these situations are so upsetting or make us so sad or make us so anxious or make us so uncomfortable that you don't think clearly, you're not eloquent. So even if you can say, I'm ending this relationship, even if you walk out, there's no guarantee that you won't stick to your guns and stick to what you feel is right for yourself. So I think identifying what it is that you want, need, etc. will do that for you. Is to, I would love to see my friends more. I want to start school. I think those are my biggest things. And once I move, I want to get a new job. I think in order to do these things, obviously, for school, I know I just need paperwork and I'm already on the fast track to getting it. I've been talking to my friends a lot more because I did this thing where I'd be like, oh, I want to see them and I would love to talk to them, but I would never text them. And I was just like, I'm doing that to myself. I'm not seeing them because I'm not reaching out and I'm not saying anything. So I've been texting them a lot more often, and hopefully I'll see them this weekend, actually. The job I'm not too scared about, because once I move, it's a special situation kind of, so I'm not really worried about like money, but I just want a new job because the hours I get right now aren't that great. And obviously I'm gonna need a new job anyway, so I really just need to know when I'm moving so I can start applying. I think where a lot of people fall through on their, and to sticking with their guns is, some people just need a set plan, even like writing it down, calendars, planners, things like that, and being open with people. Like I said, I contacted my friends. I let them know when I was free and when I wanted to hang out. And because of that, I made things happen. And I think where some people follow through on following up with their goals and their plans is not deciding when and where it needs to happen. I'm starting school, or classes start, I think it's either July 1st or July 8th. It's probably the 1st now that I'm thinking of it. I need to get everything done so I can have everything in before classes start. I'm gonna hang out with my friends. Most of us are free Friday or Saturday, so I'm gonna hang out one of those days. Again, I just need to hear from the rest of them. Open communication. My job, again, once I know when I'm moving, that's when I'll start applying. With my friends, I contacted them. I have a ride because I don't drive right now. I set all that up. School, I'm doing it online so I can work. My new job, I'll apply. Hopefully, I can get one downtown where I'm moving so I can take the bus or walk. If not, then I'll drive with my boyfriend until I can get a car. See, I've never been like a tell people your plan, because a lot of people I look up to, especially in my family, they can be very negative and kind of, I don't want to say talk me out of it, but like even if I go through with it, I don't feel as strongly as I did before I told them my plan. Because I feel like when you tell people your plan, people constantly have their own opinion and have their own issues, so they're not gonna necessarily be supportive. So I'm one of those people who I do it and then show people my results. Be like, here, you can't talk me out of it because I did it, and I encouraged myself to do it. If I were gonna say it, I would say it casually. I'm not gonna, I think if I put more emphasis on it, that's when people feel they have the right to kind of shit on my dreams. That seems to be like a thing, like you're opening your heart and people are like, well, this is crap. So I would say it more casually, because then people are like, oh, they'll say a few things about it, but they're not gonna like completely talk you out of it. Tell Ayana, John, Brian, Dave, Britt, Aiden, John Pertoso, my boyfriend. I'll tell them what I'm going to do and why it's important to me, because any of their, even if I get criticism from them, it's constructive. They're not judging me. I think these exercises are always helpful because it makes you think about and plan how you're going to, tackle something. Any major business or major companies, you constantly hear people, say, oh, I'm going to like a group leadership meeting, or I'm going to a meeting about setting goals for the next year or whatever. These successful companies or groups, they're successful, or one of the reasons they're successful is because they plan out what they're doing and they support each other and they're open and with not only with each other but with themselves. And right now I'm not really like wanting for anything that's like being blocked by somebody, or like I don't feel like my emotional boundaries aren't being met because of somebody else or because of a situation that maybe prior made me feel like I didn't have the right to choose. All I want is space, respect, and freedom. That's all I've ever wanted. Again, no one is anymore, but I think the people who were keeping me from where I wanted to go were my family. The assertive action I took was to move out. I just left. Once I found a place where I felt I was safe enough to go and I was allowed to go, I left. I was willing to be out on my own no matter, I don't care if I have to live in a box, if it means that I am on my own and doing my own thing. Well, that is it for the emotional boundaries videos. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please comment down below or message me privately. And if you guys have any ideas, because I have a few new ideas for some new videos, please let me know. I would love to explore some topics that you guys are interested in. If you like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!